I am Joseph Holmes. I go by Ugly Man Joe. I am from Mesquite, Texas. I've been training for about 11 years, since 2014.
Joseph Ugly Man Holmes. At 6'4" and 185 pounds, Joseph has a significant height advantage over most of his divisional rivals. Ugly Man has a well-rounded game. His stand-up is rangy, and even though he does possess knockout power, it's his submissions that have given him the majority of his wins.
And when I first started, I started in everything. I started in MMA, so I've been doing, like boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, everything about the same amount of time. But jiu-jitsu was one of the things that took to me like the fastest and the quickest, and I would say is the one thing I actually enjoyed the most. Jiu-jitsu's always just been my plan B. My plan A would be get out there and try and knock them out, but these guys are durable. Plan B, choke them out, right? So when I went pro, I lost my debut in Bellator, and after that, I never lost again, right? I just choking everyone, knocking everyone out, and so I was 8-1 about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, and that got me the opportunity to fight in the UFC. My first four fights, like on a UFC fight card, were some of the most pressure, hardest, crazy experiences of my life, and this was actually during like COVID. But either way, I was locked in. I started seeing a therapist, and they were helping me get my mind right, and I think that really helped prepare me for being a Mohler ambassador, just because the pressure of fighting in front of like thousands, millions of people is out of this world. And if you've never felt it before, it's really hard to describe. And so moving on to now being a Mohler ambassador, fighting on some of these awesome jiu-jitsu cards now, I think I'm super prepared, and I'm just excited. Like every day I'm fired up and just ready to just be better and bring that experience from the UFC onto the jiu-jitsu mats. I've known Mohler, I want to say my entire career. Mohler's always had the highest level of martial arts. Like ever since I've known him, his guys are always super skilled, super respectful. Just to get the opportunity to be like those guys like I looked up to when I first started, and have that level of skill, it really just drove me. Every time I'd see Mohler, it would always be like a big smile, it would always be love, hugs. A little under a year ago, I seen he had a post about like this ambassador opportunity, and so I just wanted to see what that was about necessarily. So I emailed them, and they got right back to me, and yeah, it was just an amazing opportunity I couldn't pass. Being a Mohler ambassador to me means that I am the upper echelon of competitors for Mohler. It means that every day I train, I have a purpose for training, like not just to get better, but to reach my full potential. We're going and doing the biggest tournaments in the world, facing the hardest challengers in the world, and to get to face off with them as equals. And they respect me not just because of my skill or because maybe they've heard of me, but because when I wear my gear, I have, Mohler ambassador or Mohler MMA on my gear, and they see that, and they start shaking in their boots. And that's, to have that much power just from a logo on my shirt or shorts, is just incredible to me. And I don't know if I'd be able to reach my full potential had I not been in this situation right now. And so for that, I'm excited, and it fires me up, and it's just incredible. I want to like travel the world and see all these different cultures and stuff, just doing something I love. Being a Mohler ambassador allows me to do that. We get to compete on some of the biggest tournaments in the world, not just the country, but in the world. And so I get to travel with these people who also have some of the same goals as I do, trying to reach the top, trying to be the best in their divisions. But I also get to be coached by Mohler. Like when I go to competition classes or leg lock classes, like I don't have like one of Mohler's black belts coaching me. Not all the time, sometimes obviously, but I get Professor Mohler coaching me, like giving me advice, seeing my game and helping and critiquing my game. And I think that that's one of the biggest thing that excites me about being a Mohler ambassador, because I actually get my information from the man himself. And so that to me is just phenomenal.